Okay, welcome to the Scotiabank HR Analysis. This is the second part or the video part on the individual assignment for strategic HR. So uh, this is the to begin with, we'd like to acknowledge that we are on the unceded traditional territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations, who have cared for this land since immemorial time. Next, we have the agenda. First, we have the Scotiabank overview. This breaks into two, the financial overview and then a human resource overview. This also includes who Scotiabank is, for how long they've been working, where do they operate, and the type of products and services that they offer. Next, we have the external scan on workforce generations, the importance of Generation X and Generation Z, then a quick summary, and then at the end of the presentation, there's just a reference page. Okay, so let's begin. First, we have who is Scotiabank. Now, Scotiabank is one of the biggest, most influential financial institutions here in Canada. They were established in 1832 in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Now, they also have operations in over 50 countries, and here in Canada, they operate in all major cities and provinces. I know they have over 900 branches across the country and over 2,000 ATM machines. Then we have headquarters are located in Toronto, and that's for their products and services. They offer checking accounts, investing accounts, mutual funding. They offer financial, uh, loans, and all that sort of uh, financial services that regular banks offer. Moving on onto the financial overview, we have that this little chart or this chart right here, which is a cluster chart. This indicates the total revenue in Canadian dollars, the net income, and the return on equity in percentage. Now, for some highlights, we have that 2022 was the best performing year in terms of equity and income. It brought in around 11,000 millions of dollars for net income, and the return on equity was around 15 to 16%. Next, we have that 2024 was the highest gross revenue. Now, this is really good to have a really high revenue. It's way above the 30,000, almost hitting the 35,000 millions of dollars. But it also had a low income. So in terms of operations, there was must have been very high costs associated to investments or operations. So yeah. And overall, it's a very healthy return on equity. It stands between 10 to 20%, which is very usual in the financial industry. So it's really good. Moving on, we have our human resource overview. This is right here a breakdown of the workforce in the company on the pie chart. Some highlights are we have that women make up 55% of the employees, according to the Scotiabank Equity Report in 2022. Veterans make the smallest number of employees in the organization, with only being 0.7% of it. We also know that people of color represent around 41% of the organization's employees, and then it's followed by people with disabilities and black people as well. Last but not least, we have that LGBTQ represent around 4.2% of the workforce. Moving on, we have some of the major roles that Scotiabank has in their branches and across the company. So this is moving from the lowest to the highest position, and also with the salary as well. Now, these salaries were taken from Glassdoor. These are self-reported because companies usually don't disclose how much they offer to each individual role. So this is just self-reported from Glassdoor. We have that the customer service and the customer experience associate, which are entry-level positions, offer between 30,000 to 45,000 a year. And then moving on to middle positions, we have that at least 50,000 are made to 75, 80,000, 60,000, depending on which branch and where are you located. Because people, a financial analyst, say in Vancouver, is not making the same as a financial analyst in Calgary or Edmonton, which are smaller cities. And finally, we have branch managers and senior management positions, which are all now jumping into the six figures salaries per year. Some of moving on, we have the external scan on workforce generations. S- So this includes all the generations that are working, that are eligible to work right now. So it's baby boomers, Generation X, Generation Y, and Generation Z. And we're going to start with baby boomers. These are individuals born between 1946 to 1964. They make up 19.7% of the population in Canada, or the working age population in Canada. So people who are eligible to work. We have that three main characteristics as is that they appreciate loyalty, discipline, and authority. Some of their major desires as they are older now, they value job security and stability, given that how fast the world is changing, and maybe the next coming years, the jobs that AI and technological advancement might take. They value those things. They value recognition and respect after all those years of working hard for a company, working hard for the country. They value when you recognize their efforts. They value meaningful work and retirement benefits and health benefits. These are very old. This is a very old population, so they value health benefits, therapy, stuff like that that can help them with the complications as the body ages. Some of their major fears is that they age discrimination or ageism, as they call it, concerned about being overlooked or replaced by younger workers that are more what's it more proficient in new tools. Um, Again, with the rapid technological change, most of them cannot keep the pace with the new digital tools, and then some of them are lack of purpose after retirement, according to the National Senior Council of Canada in 2021, was losing their identity tied to their career because it's a really changing world, and then they're retired, and then it's just there's no more purpose for them, right? Some of the attraction strategies are leverage on experience means that offer mentorship, consulting. So they want to show their expertise. They want to teach the generations that are behind them, or not behind them, but the following generations, like Generation X, teach them on their senior positions what to do, how they do it. Um, Flexible work options. So phase retirement plans, part-time work, hybrid work. These are people who have been working through for their entire life now, so they also value having less stress and more time to enjoy themselves. Okay, let's move on to Generation X. So we have here that Generation X are individuals born between 1965 to 1980. They represent 29.5% of the working age population in Canada. 65%, according to Canadian statistics, possess or decided to possesses a tertiary education degree. They Their characteristics are independent, resourceful, and adaptable. Some of their desires are autonomy and flexibility. These are individuals who went through difficult times in their lives, so they value this autonomy and flexibility. Work-life balance. Most of them are also entering the age of retirement, so they've been working their whole life, so they want to move out from always working and then just enjoying time with family, with friends, stuff like that. And then last but not least, with the changes here in the new era is job security, as most of us, right? So some of their fears is just job insecurity, tech stereotypes. So sometimes they feel like they're being underestimated by managers and senior managers. And then just workplace burnout. These are people that also have families, that have kids. My parents are also Generation X, so they just want to chill and not have to think about work. So yeah, these are some of their fears, right? And then attraction is some of the attraction strategies include offer flexible work arrangement. As I said, my parents, my dad is retired, but my mom still has to work from time to time. And many Generation Xers still work, so they appreciate when you have time for family and enjoyment. And then wellness programs, so attractive retirement plans and wellness programs to like check on, as your body ages, check on those things and make sure you're not committing any mistakes and you have a healthy lifestyle. Moving on, we have the Generation Y, millennials. Now, millennials were born in 1981 to 1996. They represent 33.2% of the working age population in Canada, according to Canada statistics. Um, they are the biggest. So right now they are the biggest and they spend the most as well. Some of their characteristics is that they are highly educated, they're very digital fluent and collaborative. Their desires are work-life integration. So many of these millennials really value their work-life balance, not just as previous generations spending their whole days working for a company to just to go home and not being able to enjoy. So they balance that out with like many companies like Google, like Spotify. They have very friendly and very calm offices as we move out from what the 80s and the 90s look like, right? Um, and then continuous learning. These people, most of them created or were grew up during the technological and digitalization of the world, so most of them have like software engineering degrees. They're very techy. Some of the fears include financial stress. Uh, Again, in this difficult economy, difficult times, housing affordability is it's tough. It's very high to buy a house nowadays. And millennials are moving now into the family position. They're now making families, making babies. Some of them are now like have 7 years old and stuff like that. So it's very important for them to have a stream of income. Then we have workplace anxiety. They have higher stress level compared to older generations, according to the American Psychological Association. And then job insecurity, again, with AI and all these changes in the technological industry, most of them might lose their job eventually because of automatization on many different processes. So how to attract these individuals? Now, career development is really good. Uh, these group represents the following group to take on Generation X when Generation X retires. So Generation X right now it's on kind of like on the senior between senior managers to like middle managers right now. When baby boomers completely retire, it's now going to be Gen X's, and these guys are following them. So they expect in the coming years managerial development, skills development to take over the company, to take over big departments, to take over senior management positions eventually. So they really value that. And then flexible schedules. Uh, Again, it's a very common trend across all generations to balance out life and work, and it's really good to see that because I mean, personally, I would not like, I'm a Gen Zer. I would not like to have to work every day for nine, 10 hours in a company, and then just not being able to enjoy your beautiful young years, right? So it's same for these people. They are starting families. They want to see their kids growing, to see to be there for them, to teach them and be in those specific moments, right? Okay, let's move on to the next one. So Gen Zers or Zoomers as they call them, that's me. I'm a Gen Z, and that's people between 1997 to 2012. They represent 17.6% of the working age population in Canada. According to Canada statistics, sorry, not Canada statistics, Deloitte's um, survey on millennials and Gen Zers, 69% decided to pursue higher education. Some of their desires include purpose, meaningful work, authenticity, and stability, which I totally agree with. Some of their fears include economic anxiety. Right now, it seems very, very difficult for some people to achieve that comfortable level of financial or like financial stability. It's just not having enough money to pay bills, but also build wealth and live off comfortably. Mental health strain. So these Gen Zers report high levels of stress and burnout than older generations, even more than millennials, according to American Psychological Association. And then job stability. Most Gen Zers nowadays cannot find a job after graduating from college, and it's because the market it's difficult. It's AI automatization of many processes has taken over, and it's becoming tougher and tougher for young people with no experience to find good and well-paid jobs. So some of the attraction strategies we are mental health benefits and financial wellness programs. So one of the ways that companies can leverage on is offering these mental health benefits, counseling, therapy, just to show that they care for young employees, right? Also, many Gen Zers today are going under heavy student loans, mainly because the culture was you have to go to college, and some people that cannot afford a college ended up going to college thanks to very predatory student loans. So that's if companies can actually help and offer these benefits, they would attract many Gen Zers. Let's move on. So the importance of Gen X and Gen Z for Scotiabank. Now, why we choose or why did I choose these two generations to help out Scotiabank? Now, as I said before, Scotiabank is one of the biggest and most influential financial institutions, and right now, all the baby boomers are very close to retiring. Well, they just want past it, but in the sense of working, there's no really long-term focus for many boomers, right? So I don't think that Scotiabank should really focus that much on those. And for senior management positions, Gen X, it's there's these are the reasons why Gen X would make up a really good strong um, workforce for senior management and middle managers. So right now we have that they have very good um, academic level, and they also have years of experience, solid years of experience working for the past 20 years, 30 years, right? Then we have adaptability. They Gen Xers had to deal with many difficult times. They also are very independent and very resourceful. So I think that this is what they need. This is what a senior management um, needs to be to take over positions in Scotiabank and be ready for these uncertain times as we move on to, you know, more digitalization and other other innovations, right? Now, in the terms of regular workforce, now Gen Z millennials were a good option, but Gen Z it's 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 easier, and I think it's cost wise and and opportunity wise, it's better to attract Gen Zers. And here's why: Gen Zers have a high rate also of college degrees. Many of them have college degrees, but they can't find a job. Now, there are many reasons why that is, but their education is there, and they have many years ahead of them to work for given companies, right? So that's a really good potential for Gen Zers to, or for Scotiabank to exploit on that, on Gen Zers. So if you implement mentorship programs, training programs, Gen Zers with an actual, we'll dive more into that. A Gen Zer could end up working for a company like Scotiabank for the next 10 to 20 years, right? They also skip skill development. Many Gen Zers, according to Deloitte 2023, many Gen Zers work on their skills on a weekly basis more than other generations. So whether it is like technological skills, hard skills, soft skills. So it's a very good and important part for Gen Zers, or sorry, for Scotiabank to leverage on and use this new workforce that's coming into the market. Now, how do I attract Gen Xers? These are some of the basics to how to attract Gen Xers. Now, we know that they're independent, so we offer high level of independence in positions. They are also approaching, and some of them reach the retirement. So attractive and retirement plans are really good option. Job security is just showing off that you care for the employees, that these tools are not going to replace you, but they're here to help us. And a company like Scotiabank can really leverage on that. Again, there's many things that an AI cannot do as a senior manager. So I think that's very important, and it can easily leverage on. And then flexible work arrangement. Again, for senior managers and middle managers, they don't have to spend their day in an office 8 hours a day, 5 times a week. So it's more important to focus on results rather than processes. And this is where it comes into paid leaves, longer vacation, pay time, sick days, and stuff like that. It's very attractive for them. That's the first approach. The second approach would be for some of the Gen Xers that cannot be senior managers due to requirements or just not enough positions. We have the branch manager trainer roles and the leadership mentorship initiatives. These are not a position or a role in on itself. It's just um, side roles that a middle manager can do. So they don't feel like they're left out or they're left behind. So middle managers that cannot make it to, for example, senior managers, they can be assigned uh, more newer, for example, newer brand managers to do training on underperforming branches and stuff like that, right? Same with the mentorship. Again, you have many young people now in the workforce, many young people. These people, the manager, sorry, these Gen Xers have many years of experience, and establishing these mentorship programs across Scotiabank, can reinforce the knowledge of younger generations to later take on in the company positions, right? Now, how to attract the Gen Zers? Uh, they seek purpose, social responsibility, flexible work arrangements, diverse workplaces, and value alignment. To attend these desires, Scotiabank can start initiatives like diversity, human-oriented initiatives, social responsibility, which they already do sometimes, and then community-oriented impact. So this means just social responsibility and ESG scores promoted, and many Gen Zers feel really connected to that. So that's how you attract them. Then we have the more specific details, which is mental health support, tuition assistance, student loan, and career development. Many Gen Zers have high levels of stress, and just being there and say, "Hey, we care for you, and we want you to be successful with us. You make us successful, and we make you successful." It's a very very good trade that many Gen Zers will take on if Scotiabank leverages on this and promotes this. Now, some of the retention tactics include um, Gen Gen Xers enjoy challenging assignments, autonomy at work, and then again, what as I said before, to take on the senior manager positions, they can pair up with the baby boomers and teach them how to pass on the torch and then pass on the torch to the Gen Xers so they can take the company to further limits. And then we have flexibility and work balance. This is another approach. Again, as I said before, they don't have to stay in the office 5 times a day. You can offer, Scotiabank can allow, and especially in this modern world, more digitalization, more flexible schedules. You don't have to be 100% of the time there. It's just that here's the decisions that we have to do. These are the tools that we have, how we should take on this problem, right? And then more paid leave options. Like as I said, many Gen Xers just want to relax and don't be as stressed as back in the day. How to retain Gen Zers? So Gen Zers is very interesting because again, studies show that they care about social responsibility goals. So you have to connect their roles to that more to have a more community impact, right? Then we have financial city literacy programs and investment basics community talks, and you can get young Gen Zers workers in Scotiabank to do these community talks, to do these community programs, and it really means a lot for these young people, right? Last but not least, we have the clear career advancement pathways. Show them that there is opportunities, that AI is not taking everything, that the world's not over. Mentorship programs, tuition assistance, and promoting Scotiabank Wellbeing's account and mental health services that they already offer that, but it's not promoted, right? So it's very important to promote that when you post off for entry level positions, the well-being account where you can use for fitness, mental health issues, and stuff like that. Um, will definitely make a difference there. Now, what are some of the benefits and drawbacks? Our benefits include motivated employees, loyal employees, job satisfaction, and improved performance. Drawbacks are very clear. So administrative complex and costs are higher. Then we have the opportunity cost, right? If we're focusing too much on Gen Zers, are we leaving aside other potential generations like millennials or sense of favoritism, right? So many people would be like, "Oh, this is not fair. What about us?" So these are the potential benefits and drawbacks. Okay. So the financial overview, sorry, the summary is just that um, Gen X and Gen Z have very good potential, especially for the coming years, for a more long-term position to head Scotiabank in the right direction. But some of the drawbacks are costs, inequality complaints, and also market change, right? And then these are the references. Thank you so much.